Sorry to interrupt the good discussion, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time and want to go ahead and get started. I'll call the May 18th, 2026 regular council meeting to order at 7:01. The first item on the agenda is our invocation and pledge. The invocation will be led by Councilman Gann, and the pledge will be led by Councilwoman Barrett / Littlefield.
Pray with me, please. Dear Father, thank you for watching over us. Thank you for all the answered prayers. Thank you for the blessings. And thank you for these opportunities. Please guide us as we go over all of these items, and please continue to guide us with all the work in the town. And please continue to watch over all of those that need your help. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. If you will turn and face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Way to go. Please take your seats.
That was like the Ramones version.
The next item on the agenda is citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to come up here and speak on anything that's not on the agenda. We try to limit it to 3 minutes per person, but I want to remind everyone that since it's not on the agenda, City Council cannot comment on anything you say. We can listen, but we can't comment. I only have one form here. And anyone wishing to come up after this can. We just ask that you fill out a form and give it to the city secretary so we have it for our records. It is Monica, and I'm going to say this last name wrong. It's what?
Davila.
Oh, that's a V. Davila. Okay. Please, could you come up here and just state your name and address for the record, please?
Okay. Monica Davila.
Davila.
We live at 5001 Lake Park Drive here in Sanger, Texas. And so we've come here about a year ago, and I've got some papers for y'all that might be a little help. A year ago, we closed on property right off of Railroad here in Sanger. It doesn't have a designated address, but we closed on it, and it's just a little over half an acre that was vacant for I'm not sure how long. And we've met quite a bit of challenges. The city, I guess a couple of months after we bought it, I went to the city to ask for an address so that we could start perhaps on the way to building a home there. And to our surprise, the city said the land was landlocked. However, we did go through a title company and we got a free and clear title when we closed that is we have a title with the county. So we didn't know what to do. So in talks with the development center, we through our title policy we were able to have insurance. So we claimed it, we put in a claim for the land, and the insurance company was able to hire attorneys to represent us and go back. In the packet, you can see that there was an easement put in 1994 by the Royals, I believe, and that easement shows that it went from Railroad all the way back to the very far property, and the far property is the Haskins property. Along that line, Miss Jackson did open up some of her land to support the easement. Right now on the land, it's very faint, but you can see a kind of a gravel caliche road that just was established. I mean, it was just put in there. We don't know when it was, but at some point it was put in there because a home around there was also built in 2001 and in 1995. That easement was put in or was registered with the county on in 1994. So still a year before those houses were built, the first one, and then several years after the second one. So the city is saying that it's landlocked, but we still have 3 homes that are around the easement that get city utilities, mail delivered,
Republic,
yeah,
trash
trash.
company, we're gonna pick trash.
And so we are asking, we just don't know what else to do. The city, we have given all the information that our attorneys have provided for us. We have a landowner who says, I will sign anything that needs to be signed in order to execute the easement correctly, or even open up more land to help you get to your property. And we turned all that into the city, and the city has responded, or with the, the development service, they've responded with, we can't give you a building permit. Well, we're not asking for a building permit yet because we don't even have access to our property that we've bought over a year ago. And there is an easement there, and so we're here asking for some help just establishing that easement, so that we can have access to our property and then go through the proper channels of getting a building permit. On that same line, the city has said that, the development service has said that it was never platted correctly. The land was divided illegally. But still there are homes there, and they still are getting services, and that land was vacant, and it was overgrown, and we went in and we've taken care of it as much as we can, and we wouldn't be adding any more expense, and actually with the title policy that we have, we're able, for the title company, to pay for improvement on an easement road. So either still establishing and using the one that's there, and improving that road for better services that the city can use, or putting in the original easement, which gives us access to the far back properties where our land is and the current owner is. And then Ms. Jackson allowing us to put in the far back easement, so all 3 properties could have a road. And so we are kind of at, like, we just don't know what to do.
So as I mentioned, we're not supposed to comment.
Yes.
But I'm gonna comment, okay? And I'm just gonna say that I know there's been issues there in the past, and I don't have an answer, and we don't have an answer, and staff probably doesn't have an answer for you tonight. But I understand your ask, that's what I was waiting for you to get to. And I will tell you that we have a meeting this week and we'll discuss it. Before you leave, you can get my city email address and email me, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
That's the best I
Appreciate
can
it.
promise tonight.
Okay, yes, understand. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Are there anyone else wishing to come up and speak during citizens' comments? Citizens' input? Okay, not seeing any others, then we'll move on. Oh. Sure. Are there? Okay. You're Brenda.
Yes, I am.
Brenda Sanchez. And could you just please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Brenda Sanchez, and I live in 5911 Stone Creek Drive, Sanger, Texas. I am here in front of y'all today because I saw a proposal of wanting a data center, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here right now, nor the ones that are out there right now working or getting home from work because it's a busy day. I don't want one. I'm pretty sure a bunch of people that here also have told me they don't want one either. I know you right now, you just want to listen to us. But as you could see, oh my God, my heart's beating 1 million.
It's fine, it's fine.
I'm so nervous. I wasn't my plan coming up here, I'm not gonna lie. Well, speaking. But I do want to say that if it's ever crossed your mind, maybe thinking of putting one of these things, please don't. From the bottom of my heart, please don't. We have I fell in love with this town. I've been here for 3 years right now, and I want to keep on being here. I have 2 little girls. I want them to keep on growing up here too. I know city is growing. We want to do more stuff, more developments. I know, I understand, but I think adding this, I don't feel like it's going to help us any way, shape or form, especially water, how much water it takes, the electricity. I'm on CoServe. My electric bill, it went up to like $500, and it's expensive. But I mean, there's nothing else out there. So also the noises that it comes out. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen videos online how people that actually have a data center there, how horrible. And then I'm big on climate change too. I'm big on animals. I love animals. I love Mother Nature. I'm gonna say tree hugger, but I really do. So I know I'm just here. Hopefully there isn't any proposals of anything of this coming here, honestly. Hope it's my first time coming here in front of y'all, and hopefully it's not the last either. I want to keep on listening, because I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm the new generation. I'm 28. I look older because I got kids, but I mean, I want the best for them and everyone else. I mean, it's not just thinking about us, it's everyone as a community as a whole. So, I mean, those are my 2 cents. I know that there are a bunch of people also have the same sentiment as I do. So yeah, so I'm gonna stay quiet right now. Well, thank you so much for listening to me. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Anyone else? Okay. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is special presentations and announcement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. To help celebrate and bring awareness to the importance of art, the city held our 4th annual art competition, allowing residents of all ages to submit their art for display at the Sanger Public Library throughout the month of April. And these are our winners. And this year we had 56 submissions this year, which was really great. We had a lot of really fabulous artwork. So we'll proceed here with our winners. In our age group 0 to 5 years, we have Ariana Jensen, age 5. And in our age group 6 to 10 years, Abby Johnson, age 8.
If Abby doesn't want it, I'll take it.
And in our age group 11 to 13 years, Kenzie Green. And in our age group 14 to 17 years, Joseph Graff. In our adult category, Rachel Green. And hooray to all of our winners. Thank you so
much. So Abby, I know you're shy, but can you come up for a picture, please? Come on, I'll help you. Hey, can we get all winners up here, please?
I don't know where you are you going?
Last year was all of us.
Okay, he's staring at us.
That's all we come. Last year, where you get a chance.
You, how about I put you on the end? And he can come right there. There you go. And the gentleman here, move over just a little. Let me see your face. And let's see. Everybody give nice big smiles. Big smiles. One last one.
Not one last one, sorry.
There you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
So the next item on the agenda is reports. We have an annual presentation overview of finance and customer service. Clayton?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Give me just a moment here to get things rearranged. All right. So this is an overview of finance customer service operations for the last year. And I know a lot of us here like to think our departments are special, but it really is true with finance. We've got 21 operational departments in the city, from police and fire, all the way down to economic development 4A and 4B. And the reason finance is a little bit different, we work directly, weekly, sometimes daily, sometimes many times a day with each one of these departments. And I personally love this graphic. I'm in the center of the finance division, at the center behind every service. Services that we provide to other departments allow them to give services to our customers, to the citizens, and make sure that there's no hiccups along the way. So we're very proud of that. And I refer to my group as the finance division, and you won't see that word division anywhere else. We talk about departments, but I've got two departments, the finance department and the customer service department. So I've got two teams, work very closely together, and collectively I just refer to them as finance division. So, finance department, which is funded through the Internal Service Fund, protects city assets, provides financial reporting, and manages payments to city vendors and employees. The other department, the customer service department, which is funded through the Enterprise Fund, manages utility billing and collections while providing customer service to residents and commercial customers. So I'm going to talk about them one at a time. So we're going to talk first about finance, and then I'm going to talk about customer service. Excuse me. So this is my finance team. In the center there, Danielle Stanford is our controller. She started with us in 2023. Less than a year after she came, she earned her Certified Government Finance Officer certification. Has done a terrific job for us. On the left is Daniel Castillo, our accountant, and Daniel just started in April, but is really learning every day, going forward with stuff. Ricky Rincon is on the right, is our accounting technician. Ricky's been with us 8 years now. A lot of you know Ricky, but Ricky started out in the water department as a meter reader. And back in 2020, I had an opening in customer service. And he moved over to our customer service office. And he was at the front desk at City Hall for several years. And then 3 years ago, had an opening in accounting, and he applied and just moved over, and he's now in accounting technician 3 for that. The great thing about him is he's got all this knowledge from the ground up, especially with water operations and utility billing. So it's been a key factor in our team. Core mission, our primary responsibility is to safeguard city assets by timely and accurately recording all financial transactions according to the city's financial policies. And among the objectives that we've got is to provide timely and materially correct financial statements, to safeguard the assets of the city, and to ensure that anyone that does business with the city is paid in a timely manner. So, some major accomplishments over the last year. In our annual report, which a couple of months ago the auditors were here, we received an unmodified opinion on the city's annual financial report. And if you're not familiar with financial reports, unmodified does not sound exciting, but unmodified is the highest level of assurance an auditor can give to financial statements. We also received a GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the 25-26 annual budget, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more here in a moment. We instituted a new RFP system, which is an online system where the city can issue requests for proposals, requests for qualifications, contracts, and quotes. The terrific thing is it's an online system that allows us a lot more continuity between the RFPs and RFQs to be sure they're all in line with our standards that we've set. And it also opens up a greater window of opportunity for us because there are a lot of vendors throughout the state, throughout the nation actually, that follow the system and look for certain type of RFPs, and it'll show up in their feed when we've issued an RFP or an RFQ there. We transitioned to a new person card issuer this last year, which allows us to do all accounting for that electronically. No more submission of tiny little register receipts. Everything flows electronically and has just been flawless. And this is one step in what I like to refer to as us trying to go paper light. It's next to impossible for a finance department to be truly paperless. And we've had an amazing opportunity here and just have been so thrilled with the results of this. We're moving to a few more things being what I call paper light and trying to stop so much paper flow between buildings and manual signatures that we've got. And finally, we updated the fee schedule and the purchasing policy this last year. And I like to tell people that we see it all. So every penny of the city's budget, whether it's an inflow or an outflow, comes through our front door in one way or the other. And there's way too many to mention, but receipts include things like our property tax receipts from homeowners. When we issue bonds, a large deposit is made electronically to us for those bonds. Utility payments, court fines, building permits, receipt of grants, ambulance calls, and insurance proceeds. And then among our disbursements, our bond payments, which each of our bonds we pay twice a year. One is principal and interest, and one is interest only. Our wholesale electric purchase every month. Biweekly payroll for all the city's employees. Office supply orders, employee uniforms, fuel, and library books. So the primary functional areas in finance are accounting, budget, disbursements, treasury management, financial reporting, and providing support to other departments. So accounting is basic things like creating journal entries and reconciling bank statements. It's also reviewing system postings from our other systems, whether it's the court system or development services software, preparing month-end closing process and the annual audit, and ensuring that proper internal controls are in place for operations. Under budget, I stand up here and we talk about budget just a couple of months a year, but it's really an ongoing process throughout the year. So we have budget review meetings once in the middle of the year, around March, and once toward the end of the year, which is the city manager and each individual director and me, where we sit in a room and we talk about how's this budget working? What's working, what's not working? Are there any issues, anything we need to be aware of in the upcoming months? Any issues you see that may roll into next year? And it's really a good conversation time to open up some things and bring a few things to light. We held a staff meeting with directors for budget review where all directors come together and present their budget to the city manager, present their requested budget to the city manager, I should say, and then work with city managers to develop the annual budget. Then we have our public budget workshops here during council meetings, and finally submit the council for approval. Finally, we publish that annual budget. And I don't have it on here, but as you know, throughout the year, occasionally we'll have budget adjustments to the budget we've adopted. And I said I was going to mention the budget award a little bit here. This is tooting our own horn. I began submitting it to GFOA in 2017, and we've received the award every year since, totaling 9 consecutive years. So for 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And we will keep on submitting that every year. Disbursements I've broken down into 2 types. One is accounts payable, the other is personnel services or payroll. So with accounts payable, we issue purchase orders, we process invoices for payment, we manage the purchasing card program, answer vendor inquiries, and complete credit applications for new vendors. And finally, we file all that documentation in Laserfish, in the city's document management system, so that there's an electronic copy that's available to each department. In payroll, we start with coordinating with human resources every other Monday on a payroll week. We have an electronic online timekeeping system called ExecuTime that employees clock in and clock out of rather than a manual clock in, clock out. And at the end of that 2-week period, in the bi-weekly period, employee approves their timesheet. It goes electronically to their supervisor to approve, and finally flows into payroll for our review. We calculate payroll and submit the direct deposits to all the employees, and then once again we file those reports in Laserfish. Treasury Management Services manages the cash flow for larger scale financial decisions, provides some governments over liquidity to maintain the best use of the city's funds, and this includes things like cash collections, daily cash recording, and our debt management. Financial reporting, we prepare the monthly financial reports, which you see. We work with our external auditors on the annual financial report after the audit. And then we've got various filings throughout the year, whether it is reporting on our bonds, filing W-2s and 1099s at the end of the year. And there's also budget and audit reporting that we have to do to the state. It seems every year there's some new law that comes in that the city's required to file something else with the state. And finally, providing support to other departments. So every 2 weeks following payroll, we provide an updated budget report to directors so that they see exactly where they are with their budget every 2 weeks. We assist them with budget strategy if they have something coming up and there may be some issue that they've got, perhaps not enough money in a line item, trying to figure out what can they do to effectively move forward with that. We answer inquiries on GL accounts, vendor payments, and payroll. Assist with vendor management, completing the credit applications again, and providing information for grant applications and reimbursements. Every year we have a few grants that individual departments will apply for. Police and fire specifically usually have several that they will apply for, and there's paperwork and funding that we need to get in place for that. In addition, anytime that our emergency services pardon me. deployed. There's reporting that we have to the state for those firefighters as they've been deployed over whatever that time period is. So for a year in review and these numbers are as of the year September 30th, 2025, finance processed 7,544 separate AP invoices. We issued 301 purchase orders, made 3,041 vendor payments, which is less than the invoices, but a payment may have one invoice on it, it may have 22 invoices on it. Issued 2,818 payments to employees, and it says payroll checks, but everyone's paid direct deposit. And finally, we had 1,705 purchasing card transactions. And that's separate from those individual invoices because the bill for our purchasing card comes in as one invoice. But these are the individual transactions that are reviewed for every charge. Last thing in finance, before I move over to customer service, just want to talk a little bit about the city's credit rating. So the city has a AA+ credit rating by Standard & Poor's, which was upgraded in June 23 from a AA and has been steady here for several years. I've got it circled up there. This little graph is Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch, which are the three rating agencies. Cities can determine which one they want to submit to be rated. And as you see, it's the second highest rating that you can have, listed as high grade. Something that we're really proud of. I would love one of these days to get to that AAA rating. I'll tell you, it's tougher to achieve, and there aren't all that many cities around that have got it, but it's on my radar. So moving over to customer service department now. This is my customer service team. In the center, Kara Fuller is my customer service supervisor. She started with the city in 2010. I think a lot of you probably know Kara. She's been around City Hall in several different positions. She worked in accounting when I first started, and then in 2020 was promoted to customer service supervisor. On the left is Chantel Bolanos, who is our customer service rep. And on the right is Corinne Espinosa, customer service rep. Those two ladies have been with us both almost 3 years now. So primary responsibility in customer service is to provide billing and collection for utility services. And among their main primary objectives are to provide accurate and timely utility bills for accounts, maintaining excellent customer service for our customers, and delivering courteous and responsive service to visitors who call or visit City Hall. So major accomplishments for this last year for customer service is working with our AMR system, or our Advanced Automated Metering System. We continued rolling out that new system, and we're so close I can taste it. Last count, there were, I think, 35 water meters still to be installed. These are all larger meters that still, these many years after COVID, there are supply chain issues with that we're waiting. So Mr. Bowles will be my very good friend one of these days when we finally get all those installed and switched over. And there are 7 electric meters, which I believe were all either a really unusual meter type or are on properties that are not currently occupied. And it'll be a thing that when someone new is going to be a new occupant in that building, they'll replace that at that point. We implemented DocuSign and an online payment portal for a streamlined process for service applications. Before this, we had a paper application, which we did have in PDF form, but folks were required to print it out and they had to sign it and had to mail it in or bring it in and have a payment process at City Hall. And this has been really terrific. Folks, especially if they're moving from out of town or even out of state, have really appreciated the ability to set up service, pay for it electronically, and have it all set without ever having to actually come visit City Hall. We worked with NewGen Strategies and Solutions to update the city's rate study. If you remember, that was a few months ago, and that rate study has our projected rates out through fiscal year 29-30. So we have an idea of what those rates should be. And we do, if you remember, every 2.5 to 3 years, we have the rate study updated. That's just that we are always on top of it to ensure that the rates are sufficient to cover the costs for the system. And finally, we launched the customer portal, which is a usage portal for those new meters that we've got. And there's 4 boxes here on this, two of the screens that I really like. There's 4 boxes here. The 2 on the left, the billing cycle usage and billing cycle data, shows information for the consumption for the current month or the month just billed, last month, and then this month last year. This happens to be a water account, so it's showing the usage in gallons. It'll has all the dates there for those billings. The 3rd box there for a billing cycle threshold is really pretty neat. Individual users can go on here and they can set a threshold for their electric usage or their water usage. And if they set it as so many gallons or so many kilowatt hours, whenever their meter goes above that, they're going to get a text notification saying, hey, you just exceeded your threshold that you want to be noticed about. And some folks have really enjoyed this that have started that. And then finally, that alerts is a system alerts system. That is things such as a leak alert. These water meters monitor, and if they see constant small usage, it'll send us as well as to this portal a leak alert that says, you may want to check, you may have a leak alert. You may an alert that you may have a leak.
But what's the policy for notification? You said it's a text, but there are people from city that are actually calling customers and notifying them.
Yes, so for billing threshold is I said text, but billing threshold can be, I believe, a text or an email. But for the alerts,
Yes.
Especially for the where it looks like there may be a leak, we are also proactively typically calling the customer.
That's what I wanted to highlight, because I've had other people tell me they got a call, and I got one recently, and sure enough, I had a leak. So I just wanted to make sure that was the protocol for the city.
Yes, it is. I will say we've had great feedback from folks that have responded to the message. Some folks we never hear from, and we are hopeful that they listened to their message and just didn't let us know about it. But it is so proactive that under the old system, if someone had a leak, it might be almost a month later before that bill comes. And if it comes and is unopened for a week or so, substantial time could have gone, and a leak could have been going on for weeks before.
When did y'all start notifying them about leaks?
This was about 18 months ago.
When the new system, when the new meters.
Oh, the
that-
electronic system, okay.
Yes.
Yes. This is my second favorite screen, which shows usage details. So up at the top there, folks can look at their usage by the last 24 hours, by the last 7 days, the last 30 days, or the last 12 months. And so this is set for 7 days, so each of those blue bars shows consumption over the last 7 days. The part below that has to do with the weather. That top graph is rainfall. Small little blue boxes will let you know when there was rain. And then the red bar is temperature. These are very, very helpful during those extreme weather months. And I know myself, I know I have a hard time believing when it's hot in the middle of summer how much electricity I've used or how much water I've used. But when you see it here, it really makes a whole lot of sense. And you'll typically see, especially when you look over 7 days, you'll see the correlation between the temperature or water usage and then those two graphs, because they tend to move in unison. So the primary functional areas for customer service are obviously customer service, providing support to other departments, maintaining utility accounts, maintaining utility deposits, and receptionist services. So under customer service, this includes billing for the monthly service and processing payments, answering customer inquiries and researching account issues, creating and monitoring payment arrangements, relaying information from the water department, wastewater department, and electric department to citizens, and coordinating with our solid waste vendor. Providing support to other departments includes meter reading, rereads, change-outs of meters if there's a problem, issuing service orders, and installing the new meter system. The utility account maintenance is setting up new system addresses for new utility accounts. When Ramey's got a new neighborhood, she has a new list of addresses, sends them over to City Hall, and we've got 50, 100, 400, however new addresses that we assign the utility accounts to those addresses. Making changes to existing accounts, and then transferring services if someone moves from one location to another. On our utility deposits, we currently have got a $100 water deposit, $100 electric deposit, $200 water deposit. So this includes taking those deposits, transferring those deposits if someone moves, refunding deposits if they leave, and reviewing letters of credit from other electric providers. We do allow if someone has 12 months of service with good credit from another provider, we will accept that in lieu of the electric deposit. As far as reception services, the main line for the city is answered at the front desk at City Hall. So that includes answering that main phone line and routing those phone calls throughout the city, greeting visitors to City Hall, providing directions to city buildings and facilities, and processing all incoming and outgoing mail. So for a year in review for September 30th, 2025 again, customer service added 822 new accounts. We issued 50,230 bills, processed 49,407 payments, which is slightly above a 98% collection rate, which I wish it were higher, but 98% is pretty good in the utility business. Answered 20,228 telephone calls incoming to the city. And it's one of my favorite things. We don't ever want someone to call the city and have a robo-attendant answer with press 1 for this and press 2 for that. We like having a nice, friendly voice. Thank you for calling City of Seymour. How may I direct your call? And finally, issued 2,284 service orders. So looking ahead for what the divisions got, this is both of them together. For Finance Department, we're issuing an RFP for audit services. We've just completed the 5th year on a contract with our current auditors, so you will see that on the next council agenda. Finance will continue efforts to become paper light through decentralized purchase orders and some AP automation features. Really trying to cut down the amount of paper that we're shuffling back between offices. For both the divisions, for both the departments, we've got an upcoming software conversion from our Tyler ERP Pro software from version 9 to version 10. And finally, in customer service, we're really looking forward to having all the utility customers on that automated metering system. So for brevity, I tried to rush through this, but thanks for your time and attention, but I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
I just want to say thank you.
Okay.
Any questions? You are letting the finance guy off the easy. Yeah. No, that wasn't very good.
I'm fine with that, Mayor.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular that motivated you, Clayton, to want to have somebody, a live voice, answer the phone?
I just think Sanger, we're growing, but I really like holding on to a smaller town feel. And I just think personal service is one of those areas that just goes a long way in customer service. I don't love checking my own groceries out at the grocery store. I kind of like the personal interaction. And I just think we get a lot of positive feedback from folks when they call. And Corinne and Chantel, I showed their photo earlier, two ladies who sit at the front desk when you come to City Hall, both very professional, very friendly. They answer the phone so much friendlier than I do. I'm glad it's them and not me.
Well, I compliment you on that. And in the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've spoken to both of them. Can't say enough good things about them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to give them kudos tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Clayton. Appreciate it. We will continue on to the next agenda item, and that is the consent agenda. And usually what we do is we try to take as many of the items that we could put. Usually they don't need a lot of the discussion. We can put them in there, and then one vote could handle all of them. And I know there's a couple, I've heard there's some questions and some concerns. I know we have 2 new council members that weren't here for the May meeting. So I'd propose that we handle this 2 different ways. Either we just go through and handle them one at a time, because I understand that a couple of the new council members may want to recuse themselves from the first one with the minutes. And if that's the case, we can definitely pull item 4. Were there any questions? And I'm just going to ask, is there any questions about item 5? Is everyone good with it, or do we need to pull it? Okay. Good? Everyone's good? Item 6, everyone good with the farmer's market?
Yes.
Okay. Item 7, with the water meters? And item 8, the advanced funding agreement. Are we good with those?
Yes.
So the only ones that we'll pull is item 4. And I don't want to speak out of turn, but is that the case? There was some indication that the 2 of you may want to recuse yourselves.
I want to recuse myself.
Both of you. So we'll take item 4 up. Any issues with item 4?
No, looking for a motion.
I am looking for a motion.
Wonderful. I would like to make a motion that we approve consent agenda items 5, 6, 7, and 8 as presented.
Okay. So we're going to pull 4. The motion is for 5, 6, 7, and 8. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, so you can arm wrestle, or one of you tell me which said it first. Okay. So we have a motion by Councilwoman Barrett, and then we have a second by Councilman Burris. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed? Carries unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item 4.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item 4 as presented.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Barrett.
I'll second.
Okay. Equal opportunity here, all right? All right, we have a second by Councilman Gann. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Carries unanimously. And for the record, yes. Yeah. Councilman Bulger and Councilwoman Tisdale recused themselves, so it passes 3-0. All right. Moving on. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing. Item number 9 is conduct a public hearing on ordinance number 05-21-26, an amendment to APX ZO zoning ordinance, Article 3, established zoning districts and uses of the Code of Ordinances. We will open the public hearing at 7:52.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As you know, we passed a new zoning ordinance about a year ago, just a little less than a year ago. As we've started to use that ordinance, we've found some holes in there, some things that were missing. We expected to find some of that. Typically, when you start using a document, you see areas that need to be corrected. We've found some of those. All of those are included under our normal contract with the third party that did this, so they make those changes for us and get that all ready to bring back before you all. Some of the things that we found was we needed to add some uses to the use table and make some tweaks to that land use table. One of those being, as probably most of you have seen, data centers. We did not have that called out in our original use table. We wanted to make sure that we put that in there. We did that in 3 different zoning districts with an SUP, which assures that those data centers have to come to you all for approval before anything is moved forward. So that kind of puts that control back in council's hands and lets you make that decision on a case-by-case basis. We also added some language to the UMF and UMU regulations that kind of helps further define those zoning districts. There was a discrepancy in one of our our lot areas. So we went back and corrected that. It was just a mistake. We also added in some language for accessory buildings in 2 of our districts because accessory buildings were not addressed in those districts. And then we also put in some new definitions, 2 new definitions. So basically, that's what this zoning ordinance does. By doing this, there are several other little updates in there where you have to change the section from section 18 to section 20. Those are also included in this, but that's just making sure that we have everything covered. I will tell you that Planning and Zoning recommended approval of this on 5/11/26. So just last week.
Okay. Anyone wishing to come forward and speak on this matter, please do so at this time. Okay, not seeing anyone approach the podium, I'll close the public hearing at 7:54. The next item or action items, item number 10, consider and possible action on ordinance number 05-21-26, an amendment to the APX ZO zoning ordinance, Article 3, established zoning districts and uses of the Code of Ordinances. Right?
So this is the same that we just spoke about with the changes, adding in the use table changes, adding in some additional information in those 2 zoning districts, and then correcting some discrepancies there. So that is basically the same thing we just addressed.
Yeah, and I'll add something. We added some definitions, and it's not just data center, but a golf course, and there will be other things coming. Mm-hmm. What I would add right now is, in the past, if you did not allot for certain types of uses, whether we wanted them or not, then business could come in here and essentially go wherever they want. And I know that was a really contentious point with adult entertainment, some of the alcohol sales and things like that. So if you don't address it in the ordinance, then you really open yourself up for it to going just about anywhere. And so you will see things in our ordinances to address it. They'll address it, and this is one of those things we're addressing, and if they want to do it, they'll have to come before council. Okay? So with that, I'll open it up for council discussion.
It's not a question, it's just a comment. I
Please.
do want to say, I really like the updated ordinances and stuff, and I love that this is a tool for staff to be able to use in between council meetings and to kind of guide some of those development discussions. And I really appreciate taking the effort to call out some of these specific uses, so that way it does prevent anything from coming in without its due diligence.
Yes.
And I love pictures. So I love the exhibits that show the layout with the different setback components. I think that's fantastic. Was that y'all or was that the firm?
Our third-party group
Okay.
put those in there, but
Come
it
on,
does
Randy.
make it
Say
very.
it again. You did it.
That was my idea. I
No,
told
it
them
was-
to do that.
It was brilliant.
That's where you
Like
say, of
where it's got
course.
the ABCD for like what the different areas are. It just takes a lot of any questions
It's
out
very,
of the mix.
it's very helpful to the developers as well, because they can see, even in the parking requirements and the stacking guidelines, it gives them that.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan.
90% of what we run into are clarity issues. And
I know.
if we can address those, it definitely puts our best foot forward.
And this is the tool that staff uses when these developers come in. This is our main tool that we use to guide those developers in those directions.
Well, I think getting on top of the ordinances and getting them all up to date and all the contradictions, now we can get out in front of it, because for too long, we were made aware of some of the gaps when the developer brought it to us, and that's all we could do. So really, I just want people to know the best thing that a council can do to shape the growth is have a strong ordinance. We don't own all the land around here. We don't get to bring different people in. They come to us. And a lot of times they come when they can find a gap in the ordinance. So cleaning it up, and I kind of feel like our head's above water now, and doing things like this to get even more ahead is a good job.
Thank you.
And this will be a living document, so as more and more gaps are found, you'll be coming back to us to add more of those gaps.
It is a living document, so if we find other discrepancies or something new comes out that we aren't even aware about today,
Yeah.
that's stuff we can come back and add at a later date.
We are going to be cautious though, because we
Oh,
don't
sure.
want your zoning to become a knee-jerk document either.
Right.
Because that will take it the other direction. So,
Right.
I mean, everything is measured.
I just like, nobody has a crystal ball, right? And so
100%.
designing the document and setting it up specifically to recognize that we don't have a crystal ball.
Correct.
Love it.
Yeah, coming to my first meeting and seeing the data center and all the stuff on the line, I was a little scared. And so y'all giving me some clarity, these are wording, this is wording and documents to put in place to where it just can't go anywhere. It has to come to you for approval. If it's not in this document, it's coming to you for approval, or we just have to let it happen. And so I appreciate that y'all had the foresight to put these in my town's documents.
And who are you kidding? Nobody scares you. All right, council, if there's no other comments, then what's your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to propose that we approve ordinance number 05-21-26 as presented.
So we have a motion by Councilwoman Barrett. What? We have a motion? Oh, we have a second?
We have a second.
All right, that's not bad either. You gotta
Okay,
yell.
yeah.
All right, and we have a second by Councilwoman Tisdale. Any other discussion? Hearing none, so all in favor, please raise your hand. Seeing that it's unanimous, there's none opposed, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Thank you.
Item number 11, consider and possible action to elect a mayor pro tem in accordance with the charter, Article 3, City Council, Section 3.02. I'll just preface this, that every year that's going to come up, and council has an opportunity to nominate someone and vote on it. And the roles are fairly simple. If the mayor cannot be there, they'll conduct the meetings. If there's something that the mayor needs to attend and cannot, then the pro tem is asked to go. But essentially, that is the person that would conduct business in the absence of the mayor. And a lot of times, go with the mayor as another set of eyes and ears. So I held that position for many, many terms. I'll let council, I have my opinions of this, but I want council to discuss it and see what's on your mind.
I, for one, I would like to nominate Councilwoman Marissa Newton. She's the most tenured one on the council, and I think it's a very fitting position.
You said tenured or oldest?
Hey,
I'll second.
There's a camera that says they heard what I said.
I'll second tenured.
Tenured.
Yeah, tenured.
So we have a motion for, is it officially? I'm sorry. Yes, all right. So we have a motion by Council Member Burris to nominate Councilwoman Newton as a mayor pro tem. And we have a second by Councilman Bolger. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 in favor.
I don't want to vote for myself.
She's
I vote
recusing
for-
herself.
She is abstaining from the vote, so it passes 4-0. Very good. And sorry, I'm a little old-fashioned. I have to make handwritten notes so I can remember everything that happened tomorrow. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, the next item on the agenda is future agenda items. This is where council can bring up something they'd like to see on future agendas, whether workshop or items to discuss. Usually it's with staff. This is direction we give staff that we'd like to see. A couple of things that I will point out. Most of you have seen the email that June 5th, we're going to have a council and staff luncheon here at 11 a.m. There is also some additional training, and Mr. City Manager, the date's been solidified on that, where it's going to be a workshop for council?
We have 2 dates in July. We're just nailing one of them down.
Okay.
So it's the 7th, will either be the 17th or it will be 14 days later. So we basically do a Friday.
Okay.
It's a different month. It's August, I think it's August. Is that August 1st or is that July?
So you're going to see a lot of things that are going to come your way, but this is the opportunity. If you want to see something, if you want more on anything, say you want to refresh it on the PID TERS, this is where you make that request to staff, and then they start working on it. Or if there's more you want to see from the finance department or anything else, this is where we would present that to staff and let them go to work and get back to this. Okay? Anything? Anything on the right? Nothing on the left? Okay. The next item, so no future agenda items for staff. Information items in your packet, you'll see the rate filings. Any questions about those? Okay. Seeing nothing else on the agenda, then we will adjourn at 8:05. Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here.
Thank you, Mayor.